Hi, besties. It's your girl, God's Beauty Israel, aka the Lady Vibe, aka Plenty, aka Gossip Betty. Thank you for always tuning in to Gossip Gala. But here's the latest tea. Our research has shown that you have probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button now so you would never miss out, on the latest content. If the channel grows, it means more amazing content for you guys. So click that subscribe button now. Hey, besties. How are you? I'm just super excited because it's Thursday. No. That's not the feeling. But I'm super excited. But it's Thursday. Doesn't I feel a bit more. Um, I'm looking for the right word to use now. I think I've said that it's Thursday like how many times now. I really don't understand what to say. Welcome to Aggressive Gala, guys. How you feeling? How you doing? I hope you're good. Best believe it. We are. It's always a pleasure, having to talk about other people here. Like I would always say, what's the best way to start your day without gossiping? Like you have to actually gossip because that's the best way of starting. Do you get what I'm saying? My name is God's Beauty Israel, aka the Lady Vibes, aka Plenty, aka Aggressive Gad, Gossip Buddy, aka Olori Gossip, aka Olori Vibes. It's plenty, it's assorted. I know. That's what I want to even ask. I think I'm asking you now for the third time. How are you feeling? I want you to, comment because guess what? Everything we are talking today we are literally going to be shaking the table a whole lot of time. The fact that I even brought this interesting person to the table, you understand that there's a whole lot of things that will be talked about, and this table, we are definitely going to shake it. But I'm here with my homegirl, as usual, the best of the best, the one and only. Come on.
Hello, guys. It's your fave girl, Oni Luana. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm actually feeling great. Can't lie. Yesterday morning was not the best for me
Tell
at
me.
all, at all. But your girl is up and active.
Wahala.
She's
Oh, yes,
up and
I'm active.
Exactly.
All right, let me quickly introduce to you the one and only broadcaster in town. Take it or leave it. See, you can actually argue with your keyboard. That's on you. This one is dripping. Like when you see somebody's dripping glory, that's just him. This is chocolate dripping, tall. Gosh. Do you know, but every time I keep talking to him, I'm always like, Papa, I did see your workings. See, this man doesn't just talk. In they show the workings. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have no other person on this table than husband material.
Hey, thank you very
100
much.
years, I'll be 1,000 years.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
How do
Thank
you
you,
feel
God's
being
Beauty.
here?
Thank you, Oni.
Thank you.
Super excited to be here, and
Yeah,
I cannot
that's
wait to
the
get into
energy.
all the gossip.
Come
Let's
on.
get it.
Yes,
Let's have
yes.
it. He
But
came-
starting from gossip, yeah, let's start with your journey. I've watched you over time. You're always talking about other people. You celebrate this person, you talk about this person. I'm really not heard about your journey. How you got into broadcasting, how you ended up even in the Honest Bonds, everything like that. Just give us that history.
So I'll try to summarize. I
Okay.
think that it was by chance because growing up, I used to watch people like Uncle Yinka Craig,
Okay.
Charles Anazodo, and so many other people. And so I always thought about, that you had to have a fine face and this very soothing voice to be a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I think some 12 years ago, Amin Ibrahim Musali saw the vision and he wanted to move from radio with indigenous content to TV with indigenous content. So we went from Wazobia FM radio to Wazobia TV. And somebody just kept telling me, God bless GBK, she's in the United Kingdom now with her husband.
Okay.
She just kept telling me, I think you will do well, because somebody was, tutoring me. I was under his tutelage, OJ Aito. Liveway Media used to be the online arm of the Redeemed Christian Church of God.
Okay.
So I used to go there after NYSC, and he would just teach me on certain things. And she just kept saying, you do well, you do well. So I was thinking about it, and I said, if somebody thinks that I will do well, why am I looking down on myself?
Yeah.
So I went for the auditions, and to the glory of God, I did well, and the rest is history. So because I am a product of people showing that concern and giving me support. I know that there are so many people who have that tremendous potential and they need to be encouraged and given that support. And so that is why I like to tell my story and emphasize on those that lent a helping hand, and also try as much as I can to let young people know that you have it, but you must be teachable, you must be willing to, learn new ideas, and most importantly, if you have the right people and you're prepared, you're definitely going to get there.
Okay,
I love it.
That's amazing.
So let's talk a bit about Honest Bunch
Yes,
podcast.
Nigeria's, Africa's foremost podcast. Yes, thank you.
So speaking about it now, there's this opinion, or do I say perspective of people?
Misconception.
Misconception.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Wahala, that you people go and get people to come and say certain things in order for, like, I want to understand how you guys pick your guests, because I mean for every Monday,
Yes.
there's always one person saying
Yes.
something controversial,
Yes.
say something that really doesn't suit well with other persons,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So I want to know, how do people search it, and is it that you people prep them before the show, that almost say as when they come, make you not talk this kind of thing so that people be ginger? I want to understand what the
Yes.
balance is like.
So for the Honest Bunch podcast, Honest Bunch, we try as much as we can to have very frank and sincere conversations. Now, the mistake a lot of people make is they view the world from a prism of their perspective.
Yeah.
Real.
So, for example, because you had a certain upbringing, you think that is what life is. There are people who actually do not know where their next meal would come from.
True.
There are people who were raised in homes where the father wasn't present. There are people who were raised without mothers. There are people who were raised without love. So whether you like it or not, we try to have this conversation so that people can learn and understand that, your worldview is entirely different from the worldview of other people.
person,
But it is
yeah.
very important that we learn so that in raising, because family is the primary unit of society,
Yeah.
in raising people in families, we will know that there are certain people out there that we must protect our children from.
True.
That's what it is. So we have conversations and say, let us discuss this subject. The mistake a lot of people make is they see the promotional footages. For example, they see a 60-second footage and they go, oh, but that is not what it is. If you see the entire 2 hours, 3 hours video, you would understand the context of the conversation.
Yeah.
So I think that people should, as an adult, you should not allow the opinion of other people influence you.
True.
I mean, it can pattern your thought process, but as an adult who has that opportunity to also think about it and make an informed choice, you should be willing to do some research and study.
Preach.
Preach,
sir.
Pastor.
Thank you.
All right, let's really go back to the riddle. I mean, as you all know, if you have been part of this, this show, you understand that after we literally have a small conversation with our guests, we'd want to also get in the riddle. So let's get the riddle, please.
Let's have it. Okay, so today's riddle state: colors dance, music booms, matchy match. What am I? Okay, so
I really don't know.
again
to be
and
honest.
again and again,
We'll
this
keep
riddles
thinking.
always really just do be confusing. But you
I
know what?
mean-
Let's just ponder in it, and then once we get to the end, we're gonna answer the riddle and see who's right or if we got it right.
Yeah, so let's quickly go on the short break to come back with On the Street of Social Media. Stay with me.
Okay, guys, so we're back, and thanks for sticking with us. So we're going to be diving in straight to what's hot on the street of social media. So, first off, I have Nigerian lawyer shares a story of how a man spent 10 months in prison for sending a resigning letter to his boss via text. And when you really just hear this situation, obviously, like, you would think, like, that is insane. Like, how do you get sent to prison just for sending, like, a resigning letter? And then, so pretty much the tweet reads, this is Nicholas, a 26-year-old graduate photographer and keyboardist. Sometime in October 2023, Nicholas sent a text message to his boss resigning his role as a photographer in the photo studio. His boss was angry at the content of the text message and got him arrested. From spending 2 days in the police detention. He ended up being charged for intentional assault, locked up, and up in a room with 189 other cellmates at a prison in Kefi because he could not afford his bail sum, initially 100,000 naira and later 50,000 naira. So yeah, he remained there, and after this said bus, a politician in the current administration and owner of a popular photography studio in the FCT wrote a letter to the court withdrawing the charges. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, someone hinted hope behind bar about Nicholas' plea, and the
Hassinian.
Hassanian reached out to a friend of his who donated 50,000 anonymously. The first picture is a picture of Nicholas 2 months before prison, and the second is a picture of him when we got him out last week, and the third is a picture of him hope behind bar office today. Wow. So in this case, obviously, like, first reading it, I think it's very extreme for you to get someone locked up because of, like, a context of a text message. I mean, yeah, in Nigeria, we're very big on, like, respect and respecting your elders and whatnot. But then again, you really just have to think, like, does this make any sense? Like, is it a reasonable thing to get someone arrested just because you may have felt disrespected by a text or their resigning letter? I feel like there were probably other ways to go. I mean, like, he was already resigning anyways. Like, what was the point? So let me come to you. Let me hear your thoughts, and let's see.
So I think this is, a reflection of our society.
Yeah.
Most often people talk about equity, fairness, and justice,
Yeah.
and complain about how certain people abuse their powers and oppress others. It's unfortunate. As somebody who has been involved in prison advocacy, I can tell you that there are so many people who are currently, undergoing trial or who are awaiting trial, that when you take a cursory look at the incident resulting in them being remanded in prison or charged in court in the first place, you'll be very embarrassed. It's so unfortunate. And the story of Nicholas, I hope, would maybe inspire the Nigerian Bar Association and also all the ministries of justice across the states and the Federal Ministry of Justice to take action to see that people who, irrespective of the situation, don't have their lives taken away from them. This is a young man who has lost 10 months of his life because somebody felt slighted by an action. Now, if you have a contract in place and you're not happy because of what has transpired, you can seek redress. There are ways you go about it. Not go to the police and use intimidation and oppression to put this person behind. What is intentional insult? What does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
I like this thing you said. This is literally abuse of power, because you see cases where, like, the rich, like, they have money, they
Oppress
have
the
power.
poor.
So, like, they're out here oppressing the poor, and this poor boy really and truly did not do anything. Like, this poor boy, he didn't do anything. Like, let's be real. Okay, cool. I sent a text message. Am I still not leaving the company? I'm trying to resign. So why are you adding extra? Like, I just think that this man or his boss was actually a very bitter person, first of all. Very bitter. And then I just feel like in cases like this, like, Nigerians as a whole, you guys need to really do better, because you can't just dim someone to such a punishment for doing nothing, real and true. And then there's the fact that, like, okay, the boy couldn't even pay his bill. Like, and you still kept him in there. You still kept the poor boy in there.
It's
for
a reflection
months.
of our society. There are so many people who you would be surprised at, the
Goodness.
bail conditions and why they are still remanded in prison. And, we talk about trying to enforce change and try to see how that was why they changed the name from prison to correctional facility. Because you believe that, these people, but it's really unfortunate that people go in. This was a young boy who had his future ahead of him. Now, it's a possibility that these guys would go in and even they become mixed with hardened criminals. The former minister for Interior, I think in Buhari's, was he former minister for Interior? One Dambazao guy like that, had mentioned that people go in as cats and come out as lions.
It's quite scary. But it's
Inside
true,
life,
though.
what's in the inside life was past what's in the outside though.
No, but
What?
it's true though. And then you have to start thinking about, okay, like this person's mental health. Did you see the picture of him before and after? Like, how? Because I can't imagine being in jail for something that makes no sense to me. Like, I would literally run mad. And then you have to think about, like, okay, like this person's mental health now. Okay, coming out of prison, will this person even be able to like function or enter society properly
Sad,
again?
really sad.
It's just very,
I
very
hope
sad.
that he can get
and
the
then
help.
again,
That he deserves.
and then again, that would also probably like affect like his next job opportunity. Like it's just
Definitely,
messed up.
definitely.
It's
It will be
just-
really very hard
it's
to
just
convince this
messed
young
up.
man that he should give his all in service to his country. Considering
His
the fact
country
that he
failed
was
him.
treated in this way,
True.
and the judicial system that he should find succor, diminished his hopes and treated him like he's not a citizen. Really very unfortunate.
True. I
It
agree.
is very sad. It's very sad. And we see many cases of this, the rich oppressing the poor. But anyways, I really just hope he's okay and he does get the help he needs, because honestly, I can't imagine. But anyways, moving on to what's next on the streets of social media. We have man mourns his friend who died after being rejected by hospitals amid Anambra doctors' strike. So the story pretty much reads, a dear friend and a jolly good fellow, Obum breathed his last breath 2 days ago, not thanks to the wickedness of the Nigerian doctors and the failed Nigerian medical system. What started as a mere stomach pain, he complained to his wife, led them to journey to several hospitals in the thick of the night, all to no avail. Rose of Sharon shut their gates at you. They refused you entry. They said they had no doctor on the seat. Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital failed you. They said the doctors down their tools because they kidnapped one of their members, a terrible, callous act. And you were just ferried from one location to another just to survive. At last, you decided to just go to leave this wicked world. You were very sympathetic about the Nigerian cause, and in your radio programs, you were always passionate about it. You were always the easygoing type that would barely hurt a fly. You were a great guy, and the last time we met, you were full of joy and promised we would do big things together. Dear Olokuchi, Nigeria failed you. Nigerian doctors failed you, and we failed you. Rest in peace, brotherly. Wow, this story is just so sad.
Very heartbreaking.
It is just so sad because yet again you see another helpless citizen losing their life just based on the whole country's situation and the lack of facilities or the lack of.
So it's important that we provide a background for this conversation.
Okay.
Now, on Monday, resident doctors embarked on a 7-day warning strike.
Yeah.
And the reason why they downed tools is because several doctors have been kidnapped, and they feel that the government is not doing enough to protect these doctors who work under harsh conditions and have to go through or endure a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Do not forget that, I think around 2 weeks ago, 20 medical students were kidnapped.
Yeah.
They said they haven't released.
Thankfully, over the weekend, the police, came out to say that they did all they could to rescue the students without even paying any ransom. But interestingly, that doctor he mentioned, Dr. Gani Akukola, had been in captivity for 8 months.
Whoa.
Just think about it. That you can be kidnapped in your country
Hey.
and held for 8 months.
For 8 months.
So some people are saying that these kidnappers, most often, sometimes when they kidnap certain people, some of them take ill. And so they need a medical expert to administer medication to ensure that the person is well. Because you would not want to pay ransom for somebody who is not in the best state of health. Exactly. So that is why they abduct doctors and keep them. But it is very embarrassing that, somebody can tweet in the comfort of their home and then the DSS will swing into action and arrest you for tweeting something.
That's true.
Or for sharing your opinion on something.
That's
we
true.
have bandits who have TikTok accounts. We have bandits who do giveaway. We have bandits who make videos. They are like influencers.
It's a giveaway for me.
Heavy on there like influencers.
Yes,
No, real though.
and it would
like
appear
real.
like we cannot do anything about it. And when you speak up, somebody, it would look like, don't talk about these things. Then let's just think about it. You can be kidnapped in your country and be held in captivity for 8 months and nothing will happen. Everyone has moved on with their lives. But it is really very sad because when we look at, what has transpired now, this is a fallout of the failure and irresponsibility of government.
True.
Because the reason why the doctors embarked on a warning strike is in solidarity with their colleague who is in captivity.
Yes.
Unfortunately for this young man, he took ill.
During the time that
So all of these, there's a cause and there's an effect. Yes. There's a cause and there's an effect. So sometimes you just look at it and say, she been a 7 days warning strike, now then go, nothing will happen. Somebody has lost his life. A family is in mourning because they have lost their son.
And many more that we don't know.
Exactly. And then you have people who would get on their private jets and fly abroad to get the very best of Medicare abroad. And then they come and tell you doctors should not jackpot. Why would the doctor not jackpot?
Do you get? Do you get? That's the most annoying of all, honestly speaking.
But you just really have to think about how sad the situation of this country is, because just look at what is happening left, right, center, up, front, and down. I mean, now this poor man has literally just lost his life just based on, like, to me, like, this, it just scatters my brain, because it's like,
I tell young Nigerians especially, because if you look at our population demography, there are so many young people. You would be amazed at the number of Nigerians under the age of 40. We have an estimated population of around 220 something million people. You'd be amazed that nearly 70% of our population are under the age of 40. Do you know what this means? You're looking at a young and vibrant population. But these young and vibrant people, it would appear like every day they wake up and they lose hope. Because those who control the resources of the state and who should use it in their best interest are lining their pockets and pillaging our resources. So I tell young people to participate actively in governance, ask questions. Even if it is to read one page a day, try to. Because in the end, we can all be Oluchuku. Whether you like it or not, we can all be Dr. Gani Akpukwola. Let me even tell you something funny. If somebody comes into the studio with an assault rifle, all man for himself, and it's not a joke. It's not a joke. In 2014, some bad guys, just went round a community, Chibok, and they took over 200 girls.
Yes.
Till date, this is 10 years down the line. Some of these girls have not returned home to their families. It happened again in 2018 in Dapchi. Leah Sharibu, because she refused to renounce her faith, is still in captivity. Some of them have gone on to become mothers. Some of them live with Stockholm syndrome till date because they feel that the country failed them, and these their abductors are the people who love them. It's crazy. We need to think about all of these, and that is why young people must see this country as a country that we must all do all that we can to see that we take back our country. We need to.
But then when we start, the government,
because even look at protest. But when they say protest is one way.
It's not even about the protesting. It's not really even about the protesting. It's actually about it's about actively taking steps to coming to this government positions. Like the thing about this whole thing is that most of this older generations, they think that we youths are lazy and they look down on us, and they don't think that we have the capability or whatnot.
So that's why you have to prove. That's why you have to prove it to them.
Literally.
So I saw a video yesterday of residents marching into the forest. I don't know if anybody saw it.
No.
Marching into the forest, and they were chanting, "It's either you die or we die" in Sokoto. Because over the months, these bandits have had a field day.
Yeah.
In fact, an emir, Sabo Berni, an emir was kidnapped. There was a video recording of him begging that people should galvanize. No, in Sokoto, galvanize and pay this ransom. The man was killed. They even requested that they should pay 60 million, 1 billion to free him. 60 million to retrieve his body. The family has since moved on. They have done the burial in absentia. This is what we are talking about. So if every time we make excuses and say, the government, we will all die. So we need to. And in the history of our country, we have seen examples of where the people stood up against tyranny. I mean, some people might be too young to know this, but between 1983 and 1998, we had military rule, except for the 3 months where Chief Ernest Shonekan was the interim head of government. We had General Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah.
We had Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. We had General Sani Abacha until his demise, and then Abdusalami Abubakar. But do you know people like Yele Sowore? Sowore was the student union president of the University of Lagos, and he was actively involved. You need to go back to the video clips and see. So most times when people say, what will we now do? Well, as young people, we actively struggle to better our lives.
Yeah.
We never get tired and say, I'm so tired. Everyone wants to live in a choice apartment, drive a luxury car. So every day we wake up and grateful, up and grateful. We wake up and grind. So if we are very determined to succeed for ourselves, why do we want our country to be in a state where we would not be proud of?
And they're literally just sweeping this our country right from under our feet, and everyone is just standing there and looking. But oh well. God help us. Anyways, moving on to what's last on the streets of social media. Never raising a son to go on a knee for any woman to propose marriage. How is this how you raise your child? I mean, how do you actually raise a child with that stance? Like that is disrespect, and it's literally against tradition and culture.
I think it borders on ignorance.
Some
people just go on social media
and say anything
and share their thoughts. And like we said, and I explained the concept behind the Honest Bunch podcast. Some people might not know. That guy is somebody who shares his thoughts on Twitter, on X, and he has a popular following.
Yeah.
He calls himself the foundational Nupe man.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the Nupe culture, but it is possible that, in their cultural practice, they don't kneel down or prostrate. Like, for example, I am Igbo, and in showing reverence to an elderly person, we bow.
Yeah.
And if you want to shake hands with the elderly person, you support your hand. You understand?
Yeah.
But in the Yoruba culture, you are expected as a lady to kneel, and as a young man to prostrate. There's nothing wrong with that in the very essence of that cultural practice. Now, if you want to get married to a Yoruba lady and they tell you to prostrate, you now say, no, where I come from, I don't prostrate. Then it means that you are not teachable.
You're not ready.
It means that you are not teachable. Because there's nothing wrong. There are elements or aspects of our culture that we must, there's what they call acculturation. There are certain elements of our culture that, when you look at other cultural practices, you would see some sort of similarities. Like there is no culture in Nigeria where you do not teach respect. Whether the child kneels or prostrates or bows their head in reverence or does this or does that, there is respect. So that kneeling down to propose to your woman, for me, I think it's just young people who get on X and want to indulge or engage in gender wars.
True.
I mean, man, take the ring. If you're not going to take it, I'm going to give to another person.
Yeah.
It is absolutely unnecessary. As you grow older, you will know and you will learn that you will not only kneel down for your wife. Oh my God. You will not only need. Some of us that will come out and say, we cannot.
But he also
it's just outside.
out.
When you go inside, your wife you will do everything for your wife. You will somersault for your wife.
See, these men really just come out here and just be doing and saying anyhow. But this one also came out and said that like, what's it called? That he was also gonna like make sure like his generations or sons and sons will never. I'm just like, please, Oga, like why are you?
That is
coming
the same
online
person that when he's on
chat,
the once he sees his wife's phone call, he knows that he's going to buy bread. He knows, like somebody like me now, if I'm coming back from work and I know it is branch into and buy bread, I will not say no, I will not buy the bread. I'm husband material.
Please.
My father raised me not to kneel. I will not koto.
Anyways,
yeah.
so we're going to be going on a short break, and right after that, we're going to be diving into the hot gossip segment. So stick with us and grab your snacks and drinks. Amen.
Hi, it's your girl, Luca Rose, and I'm giving a shout out to Gossip GALA. Mwah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Craze, aka Craze Clan, aka Did This Shock You, aka Papa Ade, and you are watching Gossip GALA. The gist is the gala. Chop 'em.
Hi, I'm Abigail Tiwala Nubi. Shout out to Gossip GALA.
Hey, I've been enjoying this conversation. Like, I mean, it has been an interesting one. So, welcome, my loves. It's the Hot Gossip segment. The first one on Hot Gossip says the only crime I committed was trusting a man I didn't know. Nigerian woman narrates how her husband allegedly traveled to Lagos 3 weeks after their wedding and never returned. So, let's quickly read this tweet together. Instead, we have saying on the 2nd of August 2019, I walked into a marriage registry and exchanged marital vows with a man who legally rather became my husband. After that exercise, everything was fine. Everyone was happy for us. On 27th August, exactly the day 5 years ago, exactly this day 5 years ago, just 3 weeks after our marriage, he went on a trip to Lagos. His trip was supposed to just be 1 week, but guess what? He hasn't returned till date. What happened? So much. All right, 2 weeks after he left, 2 weeks after he left, I found out I was 2 weeks pregnant. The excitement, oh, but he didn't seem excited. Why? I guess pregnancy wasn't part of his plans. Then she went further to say, 1 month later, the biggest scam in history was discovered. You will get to know that the only real people at my wedding were people from my side, people who came on my account. Everyone that came for and on behalf of my husband were either hired, manipulated, or tricked to attend or play roles at the wedding, including his uncle and the wife, the food vendor, photographer, etc. More shocks coming. All his family members I have spoken with, why the relationship and marriage lasted, nko, they were all part of his mission. Their numbers haven't gone through till date. My husband made away with everything he could lay hands on. Obviously, his reason for the marriage was to get access to them. Virtuous women don't hide their money and assets from her husband, right? Okay, the next one. This is quite a long one. The next one, she went further to say, days turned to weeks, then 2 months. I accepted my reality, took responsibility for the mistakes that I made myself, and determined to make things right for me and my then unborn child. Sounds like a movie scene, right? Well, that's someone's reality, but this is not the main point of the post. This is not the main point of the post. So sorry. All right, my marriage lasted 3 weeks, but it's 5 years of trying to fix the damages caused by that mistakes. It's been 5 years of trying so hard to rebuild everything that was broken down by reason of that marriage error. Mental, spiritual, career, financial, emotional. That's one error. That's one error affected practically everything, every other area of my life. Every now and then, I ask myself, how did I let this happen under my watch? Now, the last one, I have seen people make countless marriage mistakes, errors, yet get back to their normal. Yet the Holy Book says God is not partial, rather. I don't understand it anymore. It's not making any sense to me again. Make it make sense to me, God. The only crime I committed was trusting and committing to a man I didn't know, that thought I knew and didn't take time to know. I mean, if you join me reading this, first off, she actually met this guy right online. Then they had like their dating whatever. Let's just say talking stage. I think that's talking stage. 2 months. Then after that, they got married at the registry. My question is, how do you?
But you,
No,
but
no,
you
say,
see all the things wrong in this situation,
no, that's the
right?
thing. If we say that in 2 months is too much. I mean, it's too small for them to just quickly get married. There are people. I mean, if you've been online, there are people that have come out to say, oh, in 2 weeks we've gotten married. In 1 month we talked and we got
that's why
married.
stories
So,
like this keep happening.
but there are
keep
people
happening.
that, like I said, there are people that will tell you that just in 2 weeks of we knowing each other, we got married, and they are 10 years down the line and they are good. So I really
no,
don't.
they're not good. That's what they're telling you online, though. Like that's what they're saying online.
So-
like,
Also,
this
Matera, what do
case-
you think?
Okay, let me let you.
I think that it's not there's no rule to this, in fairness. That was a young lady who met somebody she felt loved her, and she gave her all. Unfortunately, it turned out that the young man was only looking to take advantage of her.
Nothing but a scam.
So it's not whether you have known this person all your life. There are people who are childhood sweethearts and then end up in failed relationships
Yeah.
or failed marriages.
True.
So it's unfortunate that this happened to her. But I think that what is most important now, even though it's easier to say,
Yeah.
is for the sake of her child,
Yeah.
to try as much as she can to seek help. Very important. Sometimes we might tell ourselves that we are strong, but if we do not get the help from an expert who will tell you, there are certain traumas that you're still dealing with and still carrying, it's not easy to let go of such pain, but it's important that you do, because if you keep relieving these hurt and pain, it's going to affect you moving forward. Like I said, it's easier to say, but it's important for the sake of your child.
Yeah.
Because if you raise that child in a family where the child sees you, it's pain, it's agony, it might reflect on the life of
It
that
will
child.
reflect, actually.
Another thing, you just really have to look at this man and think about some men and their upbringing. Like, this is like, no offense, but this is an example of a weak man. Because how do you, with all audacity, how do you, get married to a woman,
Because of the money.
impregnate her, and then scam her and steal her money and run away, and she never hears from you? Like, what kind of upbringing as a man did you have? Like, you have literally disregarded all your duties, all your just everything, dropped it and run away. It doesn't make sense to me, but it happens so often that at this point, like,
Sure.
it's just really sad. It's just really sad.
I agree. I mean, even down to the fact that I wanted, like, when I first of all read this story, the first thing that came to my head is, but she would have checked the family. But I mean,
family
even
was
the
in a- no,
family
you know
too.
that
The family too
the
were
family
hired.
was
The people
in
that
on it.
she
It's
hired.
just-
So I really don't even know.
And the fact that she was now saying that afterwards, like when she like tried like calling the family members, all numbers were blocked. It's like, it's like, first of all, how do you raise your son to become that kind of person? And then how do you also encourage your son and partake in these horrible acts? Like,
No, but what if they were not his family members?
That's what I'm saying.
And he
They're
just-
not.
yes,
They were
yes.
hired
Okay.
actually.
Yes, and he just
They were
said,
hired.
"See, I have this heist
New
that I'm
ahead.
trying to accomplish. So you would be my uncle. You would be my uncle's
Auntie,
wife. You would play the role of food vendor. You would play the role of photographer. Let's see what we can do." I mean, because he took everything according to the story.
Yeah.
what I
It's
really want to
unfortunate.
know is that has she found, like, has she gotten in contact with the man since then, or like it's been like zero contact?
Zero
That's what I want to
contact.
look,
She hasn't
But
been able
then,
to get.
damn,
Get
that's-
through to him.
That's wicked. That's just wicked.
We'll be
That's-
all right.
that's very
Let's quickly check
wicked.
the comment section to see people's reaction on that. All right. Are we do?
I'll never subscribe to the idea of letting your husband have access to money and assets that you worked for single-handedly. Also, as a lady never married down, people will say, "Oh, but men marry down." Yes, but they can force his wealth anyway. Oh, force his wealth away.
What do you think?
Well, like I said, there's no rule to this. You'll be surprised that there are families where the woman is, the breadwinner.
Definitely.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that-
I feel like that's a normal thing.
That's, I'm not surprised.
I mean, so and these families have no issues whatsoever. It's not whether you work so hard or you think you're better off. There are certain people who, by hard work, by providence, and by opportunity, they will definitely get the bag. And all you need to do is be a very good partner.
For real.
So
Some people don't
like I said,
mind.
there's no rule to this.
And see, I promise you, that woman also would not have minded if, her partner was actually her partner or actually did right by her. Because, I've heard not even heard, like, even me, myself, like, for example, in my past relationship or whatever, like, I was footing the bills, but I didn't mind because, like,
You
it's
have it.
equal. Like, he gave me the mental support I needed. I mean, and I have the money. Like, so, like, why would I complain? Like, and it works both ways. So it just actually depends, like he said, on who you're dealing with and what you're actually getting back from that person, and if it works for you. But in this case, it's just a very very sad thing that like this happened to this woman, and she's been left with a child and just a whole bunch of unanswered questions in her head. I don't know
Yeah.
how. I think I'll probably lose my mind if no. I think
If
I'll
that
actually
happens to
lose
you?
my mind.
Nah.
No, not in that sense. Just in the way of like, damn, like, did I actually just get scammed? Like,
I think she should just seek
and now
help.
I'm carrying this man's child.
I
And
mean,
it's like,
it's really not easy.
No,
It's not.
You
It's
know,
not
because
actually.
you
I'm
think
not.
about
I'm
life
not
with
disputing
somebody
that.
and you look forward to a good life.
Yeah.
You're willing to give your all to see that you guys
Yeah.
are happy together.
Yeah.
And then this happens, and then there is a child. There are so many unanswered questions.
Yeah,
And
true.
it's a struggle
True.
being a single parent
True.
in Nigeria.
I agree.
So you can
I
tell,
agree.
but it's important. The first step is to seek help.
True.
Some people, you think you're strong until certain things happen to you,
True.
and then you realize that there's what's that.
It's easy.
Yes.
All right, let's quickly go over to the next story that says their way of reasoning is becoming increasingly frustrating. This is said by journalist Rufai Oseni. This is in reaction to the federal government pegs age for writing WAEC JAM at 18. So let me quickly read this out because I'm so pissed at CES, honestly speaking. And it says they say pupils can't go to university before 18, but they can get married at 12. Is this alliance with the other side of the country really benefiting us? Their way of reasoning is becoming increasingly frustrating, whatever that is. Now, to be very honest here, I don't have an issue with if they say that okay until you get to 18 before you can write JAM, I don't have an issue with it. But why are they bringing WAEC to this whole thing? Like, I don't think there's any school in Nigeria that you can actually enter with just your WAEC. You have to actually write your JAM, right? Or except if you want to go to maybe Benin Republic or other schools outside the country, or probably online courses or take online courses. But why are you infusing that to people that just finished secondary school?
I don't
That's
think
so
that's
wrong.
the real problem of this.
That's the real problem, actually.
No, I think what he's pretty much trying to say is just the fact that how the country literally contradicts itself in its own law. It's like, okay, how is it okay to get married at the age of 12, like he said, right? But you can't go to university until you're 18. Like making before. Like they're missing the steps, right? Like before someone can even get married, like a normal thing, like the norm is for you to like go through your education, finish school, and then like you go on with your life. But this law,
So should I?
literally just
So I have listened to the Minister for Education, and I
Okay.
think his reasons are baseless. Makes no sense.
Exactly.
And
I agree too.
in the world that we live in today, especially since you have stakeholders and you did not consult with these stakeholders, it goes a long way to show that that man is not deserving of that position, and he should be relieved. I don't want to use the word fired or sacked. He should be relieved because he's not going to add value to that ministry. It's really very, very unfortunate that in the recent past, Nigeria as a country has been unfortunate to have had irresponsible people, irrespective
Irresponsible
of the
leaders.
titles that they attach to their names as people who administer or preside over the affairs of the educational sector. It's really very sad. Under President Muhammadu Buhari, who we were looking for his certificate, before he became president,
yeah.
and who we are still not sure whether he went to school or not, because WAEC had to come to the villa to present a new certificate to him. We had an unfortunate minister for education, Adamu, and the man was really a mumu. We did not achieve anything. In fact, we experienced the longest industrial action by the promotional interest groups in that sector. ASU went on strike for nearly a year.
True.
I mean, one can argue and say we had COVID and it was a way off, but it is really unfortunate. Certain students' ID cards became expired.
Yeah.
Because if you were supposed to spend 4 years in school, you were spending 6 years.
6 years.
Some had to use biro to change their date of graduation. Really very, very sad. I think that when we look at the sector and the emergency that we need to declare, it is not saying that students should wait until they turn 18 before they write WAEC. You see, these people are detached from reality. They don't
Very
even
much
understand
so.
the system in itself. When
Very
we look at the
much so.
system, until we had the introduction of the basic education system where it now became 934, we had 662, 6 plus 6, 12, 12 plus 4, 16. That's 16 already. And you're saying the person should wait for an additional 2 years, before they go to school. In this age and time where you have exceptionally gifted children around the world who are doing well. So, Professor Tahir, you know nothing. If you have any dignity and respect, you should resign, tender your resignation, and leave that office because you are not adding any value at all, with all due respect.
Exactly. And
So-
my wanna
Okay, so the thing is, what was trying, or what that particular place was saying is that, I mean, if you look at the northern part of the country, right, there are a lot of, I mean, there was a time where these girls that they said were orphans and all of that, and the only thing they could think of was wanting to marry them off. So that's what he was talking about. That look at, we leave the main issues and we just chase out for things that doesn't make any sense.
So that's what I was speaking on. It's like the law in itself is literally contradicting itself. Like you could literally tell, like these people are like, instead of taking like steps forward, they're taking like 5 steps backwards, and they're asking like, what is the issue? Like, you are the issue. Like, you are literally creating the issue, because it's like, how does a law like that stand, but yeah, people cannot go to university until like they're 18? That makes no sense.
All right, let's quickly go on a short break to come back with the hottest gossip. Stay with me.
Hi, my name is Rasa Ariman, that over here goddess, and this is Gossip Gala.
Hello guys, my name is Larry Hector, your favorite fashion and lifestyle content creator, and you're currently watching Gossip Gala. Keep watching guys, do not move a muscle. Ciao.
Hi guys, you already know it's a girl B to the E to the E to the E to Y period. And shout out to Gossip Gala, love you.
Okay, we're back and we're diving right into the hottest gossip segment. So today's it's a little bit of a scary one actually. So yeah, I want Igbo people to have the heart of wickedness. If you have any means of killing the other tribes, kill them. Igbo woman who lives in Canada says. So there's actually a video, and I want us to like listen to this audio and yeah, just listen to how treacherous this whole thing is.
The Yoruba and the Benin put poison for all una food for work. Put poison for una water. Make una dey buy one by one. Una go buy one day. Una go sick. I go put ota pia for inside una water, inside una food. Una no go see better. This guy hate when I get for una so. It go last forever. For all of una food. Ota pia. What do they call that one? What do they call that rat?
Ota pia
Bro, why is there just so much hate in this world? And personally, it's clear this woman hates herself too, because for you to actually come out and, with your full mind and your full chest, speak about, killing other people in other tribes just because of your pure hatred for them, it means you must hate yourself as a person, because like it literally makes no sense to me. Like, I want to come to you first and like hear your thoughts before like I dive right into what I feel about this whole thing.
So I think
this tribalist
still going back to the conversation we had about the Honest Bunch podcast and why it's important to see that not everybody sees life from your worldview. I mean, there should be love, there should be kindness, but there are people who inherently are wicked and dangerous. And over the years, we have seen such persons in our society. These are people who reside abroad, where you would say, oh, Sena climbs, where you expect that they have access to the basic necessities of life, who still think like this. It is not about the academic background of that person or the social status or the strata that the person belongs to. I mean, the Oba of Lagos, in the build-up to the elections in 2015, threatened that Igbo people would perish in the lagoon if they did not vote for the preferred candidate of the All Progressives Congress.
Oh, wow.
This is a traditional ruler. It's documented. There's a video of him. Recently, there was this young man, Lagospedia, on X.
Yes.
Who there are government functionaries that follow that account. The person had threatened that people should
people should go back.
That they will start killing people. So whether it is irrespective of the ethnic background, and there's this young man in Finland who is talking about a republic of Biafra and all of this. So you have these people in our society who actively create problems and stoke hate.
See, but
they find the embers.
The problem begins with them themselves, because you for you to.
So what I am telling you is, even people in government, even people you look up to, even people you respect are like this. And this is why, as a people, actively, we need to train our children to be conscious that you're going to have people out there who would hate you for no reason.
True.
They would hate you for no reason.
True.
This is somebody who perhaps has not met some Yoruba people,
Yeah.
but says every Yoruba person,
people,
every Benin person. There are people who do this across the divides. So what we are telling you is that you would always have these people. As a society, we must consciously do all that we can to promote development and love. It is because of the hatred. That's why somebody will feel, oh, the reason why I am suffering is because I am from a certain part of Nigeria. And it is the failure and irresponsibility of government. Articles, was it Article's son or daughter, got married recently, and the who is who in Nigerian politics and governance were present, exchanging pleasantries, taking pictures, doing well. You were not there. I was not there. She was not there. You were there as they watch. You were not there. But we will be hating ourselves and fighting each other in the comment section. Why these guys are balling?
That's the
It
thing.
is ignorance. It is irresponsibility. It is madness. Madness that is wrong with us. So, I mean, the House of Reps has written to the Canadian authorities. They are looking to deport her. I still saw a video of her saying she's a Canadian citizen. Nothing can happen to her. These people do not understand. I think in the world that we live in, when we become more serious with dealing with hate, I mean, look at Donald Trump now. If we are serious with dealing with hate, if we are serious with dealing with people who stoke division and create problems in our society, when these people know that there are consequences for their actions, if they are punished, other people will take a cue. It is not going to totally eradicate it. But if we live in a society where people are punished when they act irresponsibly, they would behave well.
I agree, actually. I agree.
My thing is also that, this whole social media just being a free platform where you could just come out and say anything. Like, you also need to think about the message you're really passing out to the masses, because, like, there are also young kids that are confused, that listen to this kind of things, and in their head they're thinking, okay, cool, like, it's not just me, okay. It's just like, come on now.
You see, that was why we talked about the Honest Bunch podcast. Don't forget that in this same Lagos, the governorship candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Gbadebo Rhodes Viber, a Lagosian through and through. Some people started calling him Chinedu, saying that his mom is Igbo. In this Lagos, cosmopolitan Lagos, metropolitan Lagos, that his mom is Igbo. He should go back to where he's from. People who have been actively involved in governance, highly placed people who have PhD. What are we talking about?
Okay, let me quickly read this comment out. Sorry, let me read this comment out. Thank you, M. Jones, for, putting in your comment. So he said, sad situation. This man saw this woman was desperate, who gave him full access to everything. For an evil person like this man, it was an easy target. Hope this lady seeks therapy so she can heal and learn. Speaking to that, so continuation.
Man.
She went for that. This person went for that to say she's a demon. Only evil people speaks with so much hate towards another. She lives abroad, and I will not want to be nowhere close to her.
Let me tell you why that woman hates herself, because like we all say, right? She literally lives abroad. I mean, obviously, So it's like you're literally on, would they say greener pastures? Not really, guys. Like, it's not really.
I mean, from Nigeria there, that's how you see it now.
She should also understand that she's not even safe. Recently in the United Kingdom, there were riots.
Yeah.
People marching on the streets saying, we want our country back. It's happening in Ireland. It's happening in Sweden. See, the rise of populism and nationalism would even envelop and swallow these people who think they have run away from Nigeria and they are somewhere comfortable. It go shock them. When it's set, they go tell you where you come from.
Even just like when I was in London, they were literally like burning down places. Like, it was very, 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 very serious. Like, you couldn't even move. But in this case, it's just like, I can't lie, like, your life must be so bitter. Like, you must really just hate yourself, because like, for you to come out and hate on a particular culture or ethnic group, and then also like, not shamefully come out something like you want to start, like, it makes no sense. Like, it makes no sense. And it's you that will still pay the price, quite frankly. Like, you played yourself. But anyways, moving on.
We'll be all right. All right, let's quickly go back to the readers, please.
Okay, colors dance, music booms, matchy match. What am I?
Husband
Huh.
material.
Huh, huh, huh.
Colors dance,
Hmm.
music booms, match. What am I?
Maybe Wendy.
I'm thinking it's a disco light.
Disco light.
I
Disco
mean,
light.
I mean, he's low key.
Or,
When
or probably a club.
No.
Colors dance. Music booms.
Mhm.
Is this matchy mat? I don't know.
I kind of like that.
I think it's a
That
disco
disco
light.
lights makes sense
I
to
think
me.
it's
Yeah.
a disco lights. I mean, colors, and then as the music plays, the lights would, and match.
I want to actually believe that it's probably a club or probably a party.
Club. I
Like
think,
club as a whole or something. I don't know.
To me, I think it sounds more like a disco.
Well, let's see. Maybe club, maybe party, maybe O1 Bear.
Please, where did they get this show from? First of all, is what I
Let's
wanna
get the
know.
answers on, please. We don't have the time. I just want to believe it's a party. Something. It has to be like, I mean, O1
What?
Bears. Clap for me now, bruh. Because, I mean, like I said,
I'm correct now. I got it now. Disco lights.
Super
Yes.
correct.
I
Disco
beg John.
Disco lights.
Colors.
Do you see these
Yeah,
people on my
music boom,
set?
yeah.
Matchy match. It's like the lights are
Disco
matching.
lights.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense
It's
to
a
me.
party. Disco lights.
Oh, my, the party.
Yes, sir. Disco lights. Disco lights.
I mean, we've
Boom,
come to
boom, boom,
we're
boom,
coming to
boom,
an end
boom,
of the show. Thank you so much, Hazon
Thank
Material,
you
for
so much. God
coming.
speak to you.
Thank you
Oni.
so much,
you.
Oni, for doing this with me. And
You're
thank you so much, my love. Thank you, M. Jones, for, commenting. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to do this again with you tomorrow. Until then, keep slaying.